but they are moving forward in good faith. From what I understand, the SEC has also approved for the stock market to now be tokenized, which is wild. We know earlier, last year at Swell, we had the president of NASDAQ talking about that. You've had New York Stock Exchange talking about that. And you've even had Paul on a couple different social media networks, large networks like CNN, back in settlement of the stock market, and that they would tokenize the stock market later this year in 2026. So exciting to see that finally moving forward here. And then on top of all of that, you've got Evernorth filing their S4 today to be able to finalize their SPAC. So we're waiting on the SEC to approve the S4 for XRP to be, actually have the XRP and be able to do things with it, and for that to trade, kind of post money, which is going to be $1 billion XRP or $1 billion in XRP added to the SPAC vehicle that they acquired middle of last year. And it's been a long time. It's unusual that a SPAC would take this long for them to finalize it, but we are here at the finish line for that. So, and that's what they said. They said that they would finalize that sometime in Q1, and we're right here in the last couple weeks. So timing is everything. This guy never misses. I just listen to people that are smarter than me, and here we are. Things tend to follow through. It's not that I haven't ever missed. I definitely missed at the end of last year. I don't think I'm going to be that far off on it. If I'm 3-6 months off on a prediction, I think people can give me some grace on that. At least I hope they would. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump into the super chats. Again, appreciate you guys taking time out of your Wednesday to come hang out with me and ask great questions. 70 in crypto for 5+ years, following you for 2 years. You've made a real difference in my life. XRP reality audit filled some gaps for me. Thoughts on the Bank of Japan decision? Thank you for the kind words, brother. I don't know if we got to see you at the event last night out there in Nashville, but that was a lot of fun. We had I don't think we had all 700 people. A lot of the flights were delayed. I know Ray Fuentes, love you mucho, Ray. Didn't get in until after the event was over, unfortunately. But we did get some good interviews and some other things that I'm sure will be shared here in the near future. But yeah, somewhere between 400 and 500 people there in Nashville last night, getting to know one another, meeting and mingling. What I love about those events is people get to come together community-wise, and you really don't know how many other cool XRP people there are around you until you go to one of these. And then, everybody's within 20, 30, 45, an hour, minutes to an hour from the venue. And then you have other cool buddies that don't look at you like you have a third eye when you want to talk about this stuff. So it was really cool. Got to shake a lot of hands, meet a lot of people that, you meet people online and it's kind of cool. It is what it is. But meeting people in person, shaking their hand, looking them in the eye, I really prefer that. So we'll continue to put on the events. We do more in real life events than anybody else in the crypto space, maybe besides Crypto Mondays. Shout out to Lou over there at Crypto Mondays. But if you want to find some people in your neck of the woods, you can join the mastermind. We would love to have you. All you got to do is go to beyondbroke.com and use the code beyondbroke, all capitalized, the number 1, and then MO like Mary Oscar gets you the first month for $2 there in the group, and that gets you access to all of the events that we put on. So love to see you there. Back to the question at hand, though. Again, thank you for the kind words and following along, and very humbled to hear that this has been valuable for you. As far as the Bank of Japan decision goes, kind of like what I said when I first got on here, I don't understand. The inflation in their economy is higher than 2% at this point, so for them to be able to hold rates, we have their Prime Minister coming over here to talk to Trump tomorrow, and maybe something will come of that, but they have made XRP a financial instrument, financial instrument there in Japan. You've got Evernorth launching. You've got many other things kind of compounding here at the end of March. We'll just have to see how things play out. Astrological New Year in just a few days for the spring equinox, so that'll be fun. Lots of cool, you know, I don't talk about the astrology stuff on here very often, but lots of interesting things taking place there. And yeah, I don't know how much further they can kick the can here. I feel like there's too much inflation in their economy, and then the Fed's up against the wall with the private credit markets here in the U.S. There were some payment issues there in Japan that I heard about today also. So could that be, you know, the first inkling of Ice 9? Maybe. Not sure. There's not enough to say yet, but all of the symptoms are there for this to move very quickly, and when it does, I think that the Bank of Japan will have to act when that happens, and it would be unprecedented. They've never had an emergency meeting like that to raise interest rates, but there's a first time for everything. You know, structure a SAFT or a simple agreement for future tokens, or if you gave out token warrants or other things, and they've been doing that for a long time here in the U.S. alongside an equity offering for a corporation. Met a guy last night at the deal, you know, there he's from Knoxville, and he runs a hedge fund. He's been in crypto since 2012, and he does a lot of early stage venture for ICOs and token warrants and that type of stuff. So, you know, I'm excited about the way that they put the regulation forward. I think it makes a lot of sense. You know, XRP, again, kind of leading the way there, is not a security, but now we know it's a commodity, and many of the other ones are going to be a commodity as well. So yeah, I think that it's good to have, like, full clarity on it, what it is and what it isn't. Kurt, good to see you, dude. He says, how about the XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR algo are all labeled digital commodities after the SEC and the CFTC came together? The Megazord slugging percentage is like Barry Bonds in the steroid era. Thanks for all that you do.